Today on America's Court with Judge Ross.
We got together a couple of times after that, maybe call it a date, I'm not really sure.
Okay, let's call it a date.
Okay, so we went on
Because for you, it was a date.
Yes, sir.
Would you have considered it a date?
We lived nearby. I thought this was a continuation of friendship.
In my courtroom, it's about equity and fairness.
Stop. Is that true?
I don't want you to understand, I want you to overstand.
Yes, sir.
That's why they pay me the big bucks. Justice should be more than just some foreign concept. I actually want you to learn something. That's not gonna happen. Not up in here, not today. And boom goes the dynamite.
Fair, firm, compassionate. This is America's Court with Judge Ross. Matthew Richards claims he reconnected with a friend at a high school reunion and says after they began dating, he loaned her money and she now refuses to repay him.
All rise. Remain standing and come to order. This court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Kevin Ross presiding.
Ladies and gentlemen, you may be seated.
Mr. Richards is suing Tracey Brown in the amount of $750.
All parties have been sworn, Your Honor.
Thank you, Deputy Thomas. Mr. Richards, you want $750, correct?
That's correct, Your Honor.
Knock my socks off.
So Tracey and I have known each other for a long time. We've known each other since high school.
Right.
Earlier
I
this year.
saw that you all didn't really hang out or didn't have any sort of relationship in high school, but here we are, huh?
We were friends in high school.
You were friends?
We were friends.
But what happened? What back then? It just, you didn't make your move? What was going on?
No, I mean, I always thought that Tracey was a really sweet, person. She was always really nice to me in high school, very attractive.
Of course,
but
you felt all of that.
Yes, sir.
My question was, did you act on it?
No, I was much shyer in high school than I am now.
So now you big and grown. How many years? 10, 15?
20.
20 years later, you're like, okay, now I can shoot my shot.
Well, I saw her at our 20-year reunion. She obviously is doing well for herself. She looks like she's excelling in life. So I thought now would be a good time to strike a conversation with her and at least see if we can continue the friendship that we have from high school.
Sometimes when people go to reunions, they're thinking of certain people that they want to see. Was she one of those folks that you were like, I hope she shows up?
I mean, I wasn't going to be sad if she showed up, but she wasn't on the list necessarily of somebody I was seeking.
She didn't make the list? She didn't make the cut?
I mean, she's a great person. I would have loved to have seen her, but I wasn't counting on anybody being there, really.
And then you saw her?
I did.
And
she looked like she was doing well for herself. And, she had a very nice dress on, so I figured I would go over and say hi and see if we could maintain our friendship from high school.
I actually, because when I read this case, I thought, how many people actually go to their high school reunions? And apparently it's only like maybe 20%. And not a lot of folks go because they don't feel as though they're successful enough. They may not feel as though they're attractive enough. Maybe high school left some bad memories that they don't want to revisit. You had a positive experience, I take it, in high school.
Yeah, it was okay.
It was okay.
Yeah.
What just made it okay?
Does anybody like going to high school?
Well, it depends. Did you like being in high school? You had a nice time in high school.
Yeah.
Were you involved? Or?
Yeah, a lot of extracurriculars and cheerleading.
What did you think about Mr. Richards from back then?
He's always been really nice.
Okay.
Yeah.
And never thought anything romantically back then, or?
I never would have thought of it. He didn't pursue me or anything like that, where I would have gotten those signs.
Were you picking up that energy, that vibe at the reunion?
No.
You were not?
No. I just got divorced, so I'm not really interested in...
Okay, you're like, I ain't feeling anybody right now.
No.
How recent had it been?
It's been almost 2 years.
I'm saying when the reunion came up, how long had it been?
Since my divorce.
Yeah, it had been 2 years.
Yeah, almost 2 years.
You feel like you were still in sort of that mindset of, let me kind of find my way as to how I'm going to navigate life.
I think it's a big life change, so... Going
How long
from
were you married?
12 years.
Oh, you pretty much got married.
Right after high school.
Any kids?
One 8-year-old daughter.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're like, okay, I got to focus on being a mom and make sure things feel normal for her.
And going back to work and how you
Oh, you
manage.
hadn't worked before?
I hadn't worked for a long time.
You were stay-at-home? Wow. A lot going on.
Yeah.
Not so much open to anything else on your plate.
Honestly, I almost didn't go to the reunion because, like you just said, but I hoped maybe that, I had friends in high school. I hoped that they would be there and I'd have friends in this point in my life.
Did you have a good time?
It was nice. Yeah, I mean, it was nice. We visited for a long time, a lot of reminiscing, a lot of football games.
Did you play football?
I did.
Okay. And so you go to the reunion, you say goodnight. Did you exchange numbers?
We did.
Yeah.
Okay, and then what happened?
We went on, we got together a couple of times after that, maybe call it a date, I'm not really sure.
Okay, let's call it a date.
Okay, so we went on.
Because for you, it was a date.
Yes, sir.
Would you have considered that a date?
We went to coffee. We didn't say let's
Coffees
go
are
on a
dates.
date.
Okay. You didn't feel as though that was a sort of a
thought we just-
icebreaker to kind of move in that direction, or you just weren't?
Well, he knew
again?
I was divorced. He knew I have a new job. He knows I have my 8-year-old.
You said all that at the reunion.
We went through all of it. So I thought we lived nearby. I thought this was a continuation of friendship.
And what about you? Had you been in a relationship, or had you been single for the last however long period of time?
A few long-term relationships, but nothing that
And
stuck.
so you weren't seeing anybody at the time?
No, sir.
Coming up on America's Court.
I can't get a bouncy house. I'll pay for the bouncy house.
That is not how the
That's
conversation went. You
almost
asked me for the
verbatim.
money.
Never.
Then how did I know I had to send you $350?
Because we had the conversation about what it costs for a bouncy house.
Because you asked me for it.
If you'll be in the Los Angeles area and want to bring your case to court, call 1-888-552-6878. This is America's Court with Judge Ross, Emmy nominated for Outstanding Legal Courtroom Program. America's Court is back with the case of Matthew Richards, who is suing Tracey Brown for reimbursement of funds.
So where'd you guys go after the coffee?
Oh, we got pizza the second time that we hung out.
Oh, you really are going full out. You're splurging.
I mean, yeah, pizza, big money, yeah.
Coffee and some pizza.
Yeah.
We can get a whole one and we can split the cost.
It was good. It was good pizza.
Wait, what did you say?
It was good pizza.
It was good
It
pizza.
was good.
Okay, and you enjoyed his company.
Yeah.
And you enjoyed hers.
I did.
And then what happened?
During one of the conversations, she mentioned that she was having a little bit of financial difficulty.
Okay.
And that her car had recently broken down.
Yeah.
And that she needed the money, she needed to get money together for the repairs.
Okay.
She mentioned that it was $1,900 to fix the car. She only had $1,500 of it. And so she asked me if I could give her the other $400.
I didn't ask
Yes,
you.
you did.
I didn't even know he was going to send me the money until he sent me a text message and said, hey, I sent you $400.
Why would you bring up how much money that you needed to repair the car if you weren't expecting me to give you the money for it?
Why would I expect you to give me money?
He would not have been able to send you $400 unless there was a conversation about $400 being shorted or needed.
Absolutely, yeah.
So what's your response to that?
I mean, he asked me. He said, what's wrong with the car? I said, well, there's more than one thing, unfortunately, but it's about $1,900. And he said, okay, well, what are you short? And I was like, oh, like a couple weeks worth of work, honestly. Like, I need time.
Now, in order for him to say, what are you short, there would have had to have been a conversation on your part saying that you were short.
Yeah, I said that
So you
times are
said
tough.
that?
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
And when she said, I'm short about $400, then what do you recall being said next?
I did offer to send her the money.
So you did offer.
Of course, because she has an 8-year-old daughter and she's recently divorced, getting back to work.
She didn't ask you, can you loan me $400?
No, she asked me specifically if I could loan her the money.
I never
Yes,
said those
you did.
words.
Okay. And from your vantage point, you felt like you were asked.
Yes.
Okay. Did you need $400?
I did need $400.
Okay. Well, then why not just pay him back? If he's like, you know what, I felt as though you asked me and you needed it, why wouldn't you have just paid him back? Said, you know
He
what's
just
fine.
never asked for me to pay him back.
You don't recall there
and it
being any
hasn't-
conversation about payback?
No.
You just recall receiving monies, what, through like a Zelle, Venmo,
Yeah,
Cash App sort
and
of
then a
situation?
text message that said that we have them printed, but just sent it to you,
Hand the
hoping to help
text
out.
messages. Deputy Thomas, I want you to read what the text messages are saying.
Sure. Okay. From Matthew at top. Still can't believe it's been 20 years. Last night was such a blast, Tracey. It really was great to see everyone. Time flies. It was great catching up with you. I'd love to continue the conversation over some coffee. Coffee sounds nice, maybe next week. Great. I know you're dealing with that car repair bill. Just sent you $400 to help out. Hope it takes some pressure off. Matthew, that's really kind. Thank you so much. And then dinner Thursday at an Italian place.
It reads differently as I'm hearing it than how you said it went down. It feels more like an offer and not a request, just based on the text message.
Our verbal conversation was different than the text message that I sent.
And that's fine. So if I have someone that says this was the verbal conversation, and I have someone else that says, no, this was the verbal conversation, but then I have this that says what the conversation was, and you both seem very credible to me and pretty honest. So that's why people write down contracts, even though contracts can be oral, because when you have it in writing, you can see exactly what was the thought process. And based on how that was read as I heard it, it doesn't sound like it was a loan. I'm just saying. Now, that's where I am right now. I just want you to get a sense of what and you have the burden to convince me otherwise. You all go for pizza, and then what happens?
She let me know that her daughter's birthday was also coming up soon.
That seems like something that would come up in the course of a conversation.
It did. And she mentioned she wanted to get like one of those bouncy houses for the party.
That sounds about right
it.
for an 8-year-old, a bouncy house.
I thought so too. And she also said it was going to be about $350, and she asked me if I could send her the money for that as well.
That's not how that happened
That is
either.
exactly how it happened.
I told him I can't afford to do the birthday party I wished I could do for my 8-year-old, her 8th birthday. She's 8 now. And he said, well, what can you do? I said, oh, we have cake. We're gonna, have her friends. Maybe we'll do a piñata. We'll have the fun stuff. She wants a bouncy house. I can't afford a bouncy house. Well, what's a bouncy house cost? Oh, Facebook Marketplace, it's like $350. Well, get a bouncy house. I can't get a bouncy house. I'll pay for the bouncy house.
That is not how the conversation went. You
almost
asked me
verbatim.
for the money. You asked me for the
I have
$300.
never asked you directly for any kind of money like that. Never.
Then how did I know I had to send you $350?
Because we had the conversation about what it costs for a bouncy house.
Because you asked me for it.
Coming up on America's Court.
You go to the casino, what happens?
I gave her $300 that she could gamble with.
He gave you $300.
Let's have a fun night, essentially is what he said.
Did you have a fun night?
I did not have a fun night.
This is America's Court with Judge Ross, Emmy nominated for Outstanding Legal Courtroom Program. America's Court is back with the case of Matthew Richards, who is suing Tracey Brown for reimbursement of funds.
After the pizza gathering, was there any other gathering that the two of you were both at?
Yes.
What?
We went to a casino.
Okay. So the birthday party comes and goes.
Yeah, birthday party was great.
Okay. How long was it after that you went to the casino? After the party?
A couple weeks later.
A couple of weeks.
Yeah.
You don't see each other in between then?
No.
You don't spend any money on her?
No.
Okay. So every time you all got together, it was because of you, Mr. Richardson, saying, let's go get together.
Yes.
Okay. You were interested in her?
I was.
Yes. You go to the casino, what happens?
We went to the blackjack table. We had a great time. I gave her $300 that she could gamble with. We had some drinks. Guy next to us won $1,000. Everybody was having a good time.
Who paid for drinks?
I did.
Is that consistent with your recollection of what happened?
Yeah.
Okay. He gave you $300.
Yeah, he said, have fun. Let's have a fun night, essentially is what he said.
Did you have a fun night?
I did not have a fun night.
You did not?
I did not have a fun night.
Why didn't you have a fun night?
It started fun. We were playing blackjack. That was all accurate. But then at a certain point in the night, he changed the plan and told me he was going to get a hotel room and he really wanted it to be worth his while and started kind of advances on me that I was not comfortable with, to which I immediately told him no thank you.
That is not how it
And
happened.
I took an Uber home.
Hold on. You were interested in potentially having intimacy beyond what you all had experienced.
I wasn't necessarily counting on that happening that night, no, sir.
Were you looking at getting separate rooms?
I tried to do that, but they only had one room with one bed available.
Coming up on America's Court.
I think she just misread my intentions because I wasn't trying to get it to progress to anything more.
I'm very clear on what your intentions were because I'm listening to you talk.
This is America's Court with Judge Ross, Emmy nominated for Outstanding Legal Courtroom Program. America's Court is back with the case of Matthew Richards, who is suing Tracey Brown for reimbursement of funds.
When did you find out that there was only one room left with one bed?
When I went to the front desk to ask them about checking in.
Had you already had the conversation with Ms. Brown about possibly having this as an option?
No.
So you did that before you broach the idea with her?
Well, when we were at the table and we were having drinks, I got up to go use the restroom and realized that I had had too much to drink and that I probably should not drive home. So I went to the front desk to see if they had a room available.
Did you ever say to her, you know what, I don't think I'm gonna be able to drive. I may have to call an Uber for you to get home?
I did not.
When she declined to stay, were you in your feelings a little bit?
My thing was she was going to be by herself getting in an Uber for a 45-minute drive home. We don't know if the Uber driver was going to be an upstanding citizen or somebody who could take advantage of her. I know ride shares are there for that purpose, but
Do
also...
you recall her saying, I'm not ready to go any farther with this relationship than what you're proposing?
I think she just misread my intentions because I wasn't trying to get it to progress to anything more.
I'm very clear on what your intentions were because I'm listening to you talk. And everything about what you're conveying is saying, I like her. She's someone that I could see you going, you know, we have history. I enjoy her company. Let's see where this goes. Now, having said that, why not just pay him? Say, fine, you know what? I did want the bouncy house for my daughter. I did need the money for my car. I don't want to feel any sort of obligation with you. It may take me a minute, but if that's where you thought this was going, I'm sorry I misled you, but I will pay you because that's the type of person that I am.
Yeah.
Judge Ross's verdict when America's Court returns. This is America's Court with Judge Ross, Emmy nominated for Outstanding Legal Courtroom Program.
I can just tell you from a man's standpoint, if I'm spending my time and my money and I'm interested in the person, I am thinking, okay, there's going to be perhaps this payoff because that's sort of how society has us as men react to situations when there's a pursuit involved.
I thought he understood my situation, that I wasn't interested in dating right now, that I thought he was just like a friend that came back into my life and I don't have very many friends.
Based on the evidence and the testimony before this court, the gavel has to come down in favor of the defendant. And I'll be honest with you, you have good intentions. And to some extent, it was, if I have to pay this price to get to know her better and be in her company, I get the sense that you were willing to do it. And I also get the sense that had she said, you know what, I'm feeling the same way, we wouldn't be here. Your matter's dismissed. That is the order. Case closed.
All rise.
Judge Ross has ruled in favor of the defendant. The plaintiff's case has been dismissed.
I guess nice guys do finish last.
Maybe you just be honest with your intentions.
Okay. Step outside, sign some paperwork, take everything with you.
This has been a production of Allen Media Group.